Count Binface, thank you for joining the EXPLoaded podcast.
The what?
So presumably you're quite happy to be to face up to the list of penetrating questions that I have prepared for you.
Fire away, mate. Go for it.
So presumably you refute the allegation that Keir Starmer has been channeling funds to your campaign to the British Virgin Islands.
I do refute that.
That's
It's
it.
almost like you've made that bullshit up, mate.
Has anybody attempted to put a small black plastic bag full of dog excrement in your mouth?
No. No, people keep coming to me more and more because I stand by my policies. And unlike the Labour Party or the Tories, I've actually got some fucking policies. How about them apples?
Hello and two and a hiddly who. You are listening to the EXPLoaded podcast, brought to you by three men who really should know better by now. I'm Tim Southwell, co-founder of Loaded magazine and also the author of Getting Away With It, the real inside story of Loaded. I'm joined, as always, by my co-hosts Ben Marshall and Bill Burrows, who are both editors at large of Loaded. Hello, chaps.
Hello, Tim. Are you all right?
I'm very
Bill?
well.
Good day.
Good day. Good day. So, what have you lads been up to since we last recorded?
You interviewed one of the greats, didn't you?
I did, yeah. James Ellroy, as he called himself, the America's greatest ever crime writer, which is good of himself to pick himself up.
That was good of him, wasn't it?
He did, yeah. And he said he wanted to come on the pod as well, actually.
That's amazing.
It is good,
That
yeah.
would be fabulous.
I mean, he's properly famous.
Oh, he is. I mean,
Yeah.
he's 82 now. Red Sheets, his new book, but, everyone knows him from American Tabloid and LA Confidential.
LA Confidential, yeah.
And the fact that, when he started, his mum was murdered when he was 10 years old, and all the things that factor into what he does for a living, crazy.
Yeah. I mean, what was he? Did you actually enjoy? Because I met him in 94, 95, around American Tabloid. But when I say met him, I don't mean what you did. The proper interview with him.
You saw him get on a bus.
No, I didn't see him get on the
Chiswick.
bar. I was at Book Soup in Los Angeles, and I basically got my copy of American Tabloid autographed by him, and I said hello, but that was it. He seemed like a very affable chap, a very good public speaker, but he's obviously a little bit older now.
But
He loves the British.
You were telling me he doesn't have a computer and he doesn't.
No,
Doesn't have any
he
technology.
writes longhand. I mean, perfect for our level of technical ability. He writes longhand. He doesn't live with his missus. He got divorced, but they're back together. And he said it's not monogamy that was the problem, it was cohabitation. And he said, so they've got apartments in the same block. So they don't live together, but they live in the same block, which works for them.
What's cohabitation?
Cohabitation.
Cohabitation.
Oh,
Cohabitation.
I thought you mean.
Carpetation.
It was a
Something to do with carpets.
He kept starting his
She lives in
carburettor.
one carpet, he lives on another
So
carpet.
to be fair, I met a bloke at a party last night, and he said, "Yeah, I love the podcast." He said, "You need to enunciate better." I said, "Okay,
Enunciate.
fair enough." So that's what I'm doing. Yeah,
That's what they said to Gangster.
he did.
Well, that's
That's
quite
a
impressive, right? But I wasn't expecting you to say something like that. I just interviewed James Ellroy, right? Ben, what have you been doing?
Okay, so I went to see this amazing actor and writer's play. She's a woman called Lisa Rose, and she's written this extraordinary play. It's a one-woman play about working alongside Harvey Weinstein, and it's got this really sort of terrifying momentum to it. She plays every single part, including Harvey Weinstein. And it's got this momentum where she realises that this very young girl of about 14 or 15 has been left in the company of Weinstein. And that is a kind of background hum to the thing. But in the meantime, she actually explains what it was like to work in London with Weinstein, how people reacted to him, how subservient they were, and in a sense explains how people sort of inadvertently start kind of facilitating or helping people like Weinstein out.
Do you think they were being like seduced? I know sexually, but just sort of emotionally, just.
Well, I've thoroughly read the play's called Too Small to Tell. And I would thoroughly recommend. I think the next showing is at the Riverside in Hammersmith in August. I recommend you go and see it. But what you get from Lisa Rose's play, is you get this idea that everyone is seduced by power. So that would apply to Epstein as well, right? So they're seduced by power, and they will try and minimise stuff continuously. They'll say, it's just Harvey being Harvey, right? And Harvey becomes increasingly scary and increasingly violent and increasingly dangerous.
How does she play him?
She plays him. She actually does this fantastic thing. She basically transforms herself into him, and then it finally appears, because Harvey Weinstein I'm sure it's I get to say it on this podcast, had this really he had this sort of sore-riddled penis, this disgusting thing, and eventually she comes on stage dressed as that penis.
A cankerous knob.
A cankerous knob. And it's genuinely funny, but also horrifying. It's funny but horrifying.
Just in terms of looks, that guy was dealt a bad hand at the first one. I mean, he had nothing going for him. His excuses nothing, but good God.
Okay, so I was lucky enough to meet Lisa Rose, and I actually asked her specifically about this. I asked her specifically about, like the looks thing. And she's got this idea that part of his motivation was that when he was at high school and then at university, one of the things was that he just couldn't, because he was an ugly. He looked like a little sort of homunculus, like a fucking troll or something like that. Disgusting little person, right?
Disgusting big person.
He's very rotund, isn't he? But she reckons that some of it might have been to do with, it's pure speculation, it might have been to do with the fact that until he got power, there was no way that any woman was ever going to look at him. And once he did get power, he realised that you could force people to do things. And it is awful the way he treats... I mean, it's beyond awful. Obviously, he's up for another few trials soon, isn't he?
Count Binface, thank you for joining the EXPLoaded podcast.
The what?
EXPLoaded podcast.
Why has it exploded? I'm so sorry. It was nothing to do with me, I guarantee it. You need to get that fixed. But in the meantime, lovely to be with you.
Yeah, thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule campaigning to become the MP for Makerfield, Ashton and Makerfield.
I'm standing to attention and for election.
So presumably you're quite happy to be to face up to the list of penetrating questions that I have prepared for you, the podcast has prepared for you, and some of our audience have prepared for you.
By the way, mate, go for it.
Have you ever met Peter Mandelson?
No, I have not. Where are you going with this?
Don't worry.
Is this some kind of advocacy? Are you sort of trying to Starmerize me and to sort of lead me down an avenue? No, I'm not in the Epstein files. No, I haven't met Mandelson. No, I haven't been lobbied by peculiar groups allied to Russia or China. No, I'm not mates with Tony Blair. Do you want me just to get through it all straight away like that?
That's good. That's the first 6 questions done. So presumably you refute the allegation that Keir Starmer has been channeling funds to your campaign through the British Virgin Islands.
I do refute that. It's almost like you've made that bullshit up, mate. But I couldn't possibly comment. I'll let the EXPLoaded listeners work that one out for themselves.
Okay. The current former future mayor of Manchester has been filmed recently showing off his short, fat, hairy legs whilst out running. Why haven't we seen any of your unsightly body parts? Do you have any, or are you hiding something?
Is this from you or from the listeners?
That's from the listener.
Is it? Cheeky. Well, I mean, no, I prefer to keep my body parts such as they are under wraps. Although I did do an interview with the Daily Star yesterday, and they wanted to know whether I was going to be showing my nipples, as if I've got any. I mean, I thought those days were past, right?
Well,
but no, I have armor on for a reason. Not only does it protect me from both, actual laser blast and political laser blast, but it means I keep just a modicum of decorum. And I don't go around jogging in my curiously short shorts.
As an intergalactic space warrior here on Earth, you're surely the most blatantly immigrant of all time. Did you get here in a small spaceship? And Barry from Barnsley wants to know if you're going to take his job. He smuggles vapes through Folkestone, by the way.
But thanks for clarifying that bit. Otherwise, how the hell am I supposed to know? If his job was Prime Minister, then yes, I am going to come for his job. No, I'm not going to smuggle vapes through any customs and excise issues. So you can rest assured that I'm not going to destroy or take over your racket. Although if HMRC and customs and excise are listening, what was his name?
It was Barry from Barnsley, but it might be a pseudonym.
Exactly. Well, you better check out the Barrys from Barnsley for starters, because that's very cheeky. I don't condone that. And as for how I arrived on your planet, no, I didn't arrive in a small ship. I arrived in a bloody massive ship, my mothership, the Alboreto. It's a wonderful piece of kit, and yes, it can do 0.7 past light speed. It's a very, very good spacecraft. But no, I don't need the French to either help or hinder my journeys across the channel of space. I can do it all under my own steam. And more to the point, you guys have welcomed me in. So, just goes to show what a hospitable bunch the British, I would say are, but let's just say can be.
It can be. Donald Trump, the American president, is 80 years old now. He can't stay awake and regularly soils himself in cabinet meetings. You claim
Allegedly.
Allegedly, you claim to be 5,072 years old. What reassurances can you give the voters of Makerfield that you are fit to be their MP?
Because I'm a recyclone. And 5,000 odd Earth years is but a blink of a visor for a recyclone. There's plenty of petrol and space fuel left in the tank of this guy. Let me tell you that. And, am I falling asleep in this meeting? Well, I mean, you can't tell, can you?
No.
But I guarantee I'm not. And no, I'm not a complete moron either. And no, I haven't taken any cognitive tests because it's quite obvious that I know what I'm talking about. So, no, it's not my fault that the Fanta Führer, the Mango Mussolini, what you ever want to call him, has been elected president twice. You'd think they'd understand after the first time, but no, just goes to show Americans a little bit slow on the old uptake. So I've got nothing to do with him, and let's just say, when natural causes take their course, happy days.
2 more questions from the exploded audience. Has anybody attempted to put a small black plastic bag full of dog excrement in your mouth?
No.
And how would
Why would they do that? That's a very binist question. The idea that we all look the same. I take issue with that. Mm-hmm. It's quite clear that I'm not a bin. I'm a recyclone. I have a great affinity with bins. My children are binlings. But that doesn't mean that I am a dog bin. That's a very, very crude question. I think that you should go and have a good long look in the old human mirror.
I will upgrade him after
it's
this.
Disgraceful.
Okay.
Disgraceful.
Okay. Another question is, could you beat R2-D2 in a fight?
Could I beat him in a fight?
No, R2-D2.
Could I beat him?
Yeah, could you beat R2-D2 in a fight? Yes.
Of course I could fucking beat him. Look at me. I'm the dog's bollocks, if you want to get on the old canine metaphor. R2-D2, he hasn't got any hands for one thing, and they keep having to invent new things for him. Oh, suddenly he's got rocket boosters. Suddenly he's got this. Suddenly he's got that. He's useless. I could take him easy peasy, mate. But I wouldn't need to, because he knows class when he sees it. He would bow down to me in a second. He'd be like, oh my goodness, thank God, I can junk that 3PO bloke. What an absolute arsehole he is. And finally have a decent mate. So, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But if I needed to, yeah, I'd kick him to kingdom come.
I'm glad you said that, because we're obviously against all forms of political violence. But exactly. If Nigel Farage is there on Thursday night and Reform win, would it be possible for you to use your lid like Oddjob in the James Bond film Goldfinger and decapitate him live on TV? We're not advocating or encouraging this, just wondering if it was scientifically feasible.
Okay, well, I'm glad you made that little caveat. That's the simple. As you say, I am a lover, not a fighter. I don't espouse any combat on your planet apart from at the ballot box. But I don't take my lid off. It would ventilate things rather nicely. But no. This is what you see is what you get with old Binface. Not least because this is actually the Mark II bin. I've had problems on your planet before. Mm-hmm. After the 2021 London Mayor contest, I thought I'd treat myself to a victory walk over Tower Bridge. A gust of wind came along, blew my lid off. It got run over by a car. So, these days I try and keep it on. Keep a lid on things.
We're going to speak to these. We're coming onto your manifesto now, Pledge 6.
You better. We're 10 minutes over already, Bill.
I'll be as fast as I can.
Quick fire.
You did say you'll make sure that trains have Wi-Fi that works, but where are you on AI, and should the Reform candidate be able to buy some?
On AI? Stop the bots. That's what I say.
Stop
the bots. Very important. Now, people keep coming to me more and more because I stand by my policies. And unlike the Labour Party or the Tories, I've actually got some fucking policies. How about them apples?
You also promised that Claudia Winkleman's Fringe was to be grade 1 enlisted. No argument there. But what about the Bob from the singer in Swing Out Sister, the one she used to have, or Angela Rayner's Knees?
Are they equally valid?
I don't know. So I'm asking you, should they be grade listed?
Well, they could be grade 4 listed. How about that? Got to start somewhere. But if you're asking me if they're at the same level as Claude's Fringe, no one thinks that. I don't think I'm being a populist. I start with the best, and then we'll work our way down. How about that?
Perfect. Last question. How much will you enjoy it when Scotland get knocked out of the World Cup?
Oh, that's cruel. That's very cruel. You never know. You never know. They might do it. They might surprise you. Like old Cape Verde having a clean sheet against Spain. We're having this conversation at the very start of the World Cup. And you never know who's going to surprise you. And I say, all power to the Tartan Army and indeed the Three Lions. I hope they both do very, very well. And I think deep down you want that too. Because who wants to see those poor Scots come home early again? They've experienced all that. Let them have a go. Let them have a bit of fun. Because they know how to party. In fact, they know how to boogie.
They do. Okay, we're done now. That is brilliant. Thank you very much. Just one last quick favour. Could you ask the people who stumble across Exploded to like, subscribe, and follow the Exploded podcast?
Oh, you utter cliche. You want me to say, listeners to the Exploded podcast, please, 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 and I'm not just saying this, actually do it. You have to like it, follow it, subscribe it, and give it 4 stars. Because, it's not exactly the news agents, but 4 stars, they'd love that. And big it up on the algorithm. Lovely.
Count Binface, you're a gentleman, a scholar, and an acrobat. Thank you very much.
You too. It's been an absolute pleasure.
So that's
You've had a
fascinating.
relaxing few days then.
So it's been really relaxing.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I've been doing?
Gardening.
Setting up my hot tub at home.
But you two
After all that highbrow nonsense, I've been setting up my hot tub. It's not a hot tub, it's a cold tub.
You called it a cold tub yesterday.
It's a cold tub because basically I get it to 29 degrees, and when it's so hot, right, at the moment, and basically if I get slightly hot, I just jump in. It's like
Is it a
having
paddling pool?
It's like a jacuzzi thing with bubbles, and it's like you can sit in. You're totally submersed up to your shoulders, and it's absolutely lovely.
Are the family allowed in, or just for you?
You can't really get more than you can get 2 people in.
Well, you sent me a video. Actually, you were kind enough to send me a video of you.
Send you a video. You're sending in videos of you in the hot tub.
Okay, of you in the hot tub with your pug.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say.
With
sorry?
Lola Bean,
The Lola.
Well,
Where's this going?
Because she gets so hot.
Well, it was
right?
just a very cute thing. I just like, there he was lying in there, and there's little Lola, the pug,
inquiring.
lying next to him.
Well, pugs haven't got snouts are like really, they're so inbred they can't breathe properly. In the summer, they're really uncomfortable. So basically, she comes in the hot tub, which is a cold tub, and she basically cools off. And she's
How
laughing.
can she swim?
No, I hold her, but she couldn't. All dogs can swim, can't they?
All dogs?
Yeah, they're born
All
with
dogs.
it. If you chuck a dog in water, they can swim.
You shouldn't be chucking dogs in water. It's a terrible thing to do. How dare you?
You have SPCA on you, do it?
Yeah, I know. It'd be like the seagulls all over again.
How much the seagulls?
Never mind that. Okay, right, we're going to get back to the reality. It's September 94. And Bill, you're going to set the scene for us. What's going on in the world?
Normally, when I research these kind of things, there's loads of stuff going on. You go, oh my God, that happened. There's a few little bits and pieces worldwide. The main thing happening in Britain at that point is Lidl arrived in Britain, which for many people will be a big deal.
Huge.
For me, it was absolutely huge.
Yeah. It's massive.
Because that's
Lidl.
Lidl and Aldi is just where I do all my
Is
shopping.
there a difference between Lidl and Aldi? Is
course
one
there
better
is.
than the other? I know it's different.
No,
brands.
it's a good question.
Okay,
that,
all
but
right,
I'm not sure.
okay. I'll tell you what I think the difference is. Right?
Yeah.
Aldi does
One of
better
them's-
meat.
One of them's German, isn't
Better meat. Yeah.
They're both German, I
Right.
think.
it? Oh, they're both
But
German. A bit like
Lidl
Adidas
does
and Puma.
better weeks. So Lidl does it will do a Spanish week where it will have like great Spanish food. Then it will do like a big week where everything's huge. Then it will do
Big
and
week?
Yeah, big week, like extra large.
What if you want the small thing?
Well, tough.
Go Aldi.
Yeah, go
I've
to
got a
Aldi.
question. So is it like Puma and Adidas? So there's two brothers, and one was an evil Nazi. And he
No,
did, he
we
did
can't.
Aldi.
I'm not going to start
He
calling
did
supermarkets
Aldi.
Nazis.
And the other one did Lidl.
I think you'll
I
find
think
the
we should-
only
I think we should investigate that.
the only Nazis involved in retail are Jeff Bezos.
I think Aldi did a very clever thing when they started out. I think I got this right. They headhunted the wine buyers from Waitrose.
Yes, and this is
Spencer's.
why the wine is better.
Yeah, and so they knew, because of snobbery in Britain, which is quite well realised for a German company, that posh people would go to Aldi to get, because it's cheaper and they like to save a buck or two, posh people more than anybody else I've noticed, and they will quietly tell their friends, yes, we got it from Aldi. And that word of mouth is really more important than all the advertising you can get.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
smart.
Okay, would you like to hear something really tragic that I heard on the radio the other day regarding Aldi and Lidl? Yeah?
Yes, I would.
It does
There are
seem
some
certain.
people, right, that they love going to Aldi and they love going to Lidl, but they're so worried about their neighbours seeing them that they take a Waitrose bag there
Yeah.
and rebag.
That's what I do.
When you go
I
to
thought
Ann
that's what
Summers.
you do. You absolute wanker.
No, I don't do that. Of course not. I'm proud. Proud.
You
it's
haven't
too
got
far
an,
away.
you can't have an Aldi and Lidl near you, have you?
No, we haven't. We've got a. I think we've got.
You've got a
an
Waitrose,
Aldi.
haven't you? You've got a Waitrose.
5
You've
Waitrose.
We've got a Waitrose.
got like one of the
station.
biggest Waitroses in the world.
Whatever the plural
around
is.
there.
One interesting fact, right? Haywards Heath is where I live. It's got the country's most expensive Sainsbury's. Look at that.
That's an interesting fact, isn't it?
Yeah, come to Haywards Heath. spend
Don't
a fortune
get
on a
ripped
packet
off.
of Toffos.
Go straight after this show, wouldn't it?
Okay, so in
Right.
the face of this German supermarket invasion,
There was one other thing,
Yeah.
right, which I know Bill's going to disagree
How
with
long's
me
this
here.
podcast? 5 hours?
Yes.
Yeah,
No, there was one
first
other
item,
thing.
yeah, go on.
Right, on the 31st of August, which admittedly is not September, but let's not, the IRA began their first proper ceasefire, negotiated by, let's face it now, when we look back on him, John Major was a rather good Prime Minister.
Given what's come after him.
Yeah,
he's
given what's
an
come
elder
after, he's an
statesman.
absolute fucking Satan. Absolute
I'll tell you
Satan.
what else happened. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yes.
That was.
Which I think
great
is
film.
Britain's favourite film.
I think if everybody does like a top 10,
Yeah, it'll be in there.
even though it's a bit of a cliche now, it's going to be in there, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
In
it
there,
is.
totally. Even if
It's a
you're
very, very, very good.
House Ponce.
94 was actually a brilliant year for movies. Brilliant year. For
Yeah, it
movies.
was. With Pulp Fiction. that.
Pulp Fiction came out as well, yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it? Well, that's 2.
Oh, look, if
No,
you let
loads
me go on
more.
IMDb and I'll find out some more. Yeah.
We haven't got time. We've
Okay.
only got 7 hours. Loaded magazines come out that month, and inside the magazine are the following: Shane MacGowan, Frank Skinner, Paul Merson, Charles Manson by John Ronson, Dennis Hopper interviewing Quentin Tarantino, High Rolling in Atlanta with Tony Bennett, Fashion. This is a good one we're going to talk about. What to Wear to Court, which was modelled by Terry Hall, R.I.P. now. Also, Training with Leeds United. Managed to get Leeds United in so much into that.
Try doing it now, yeah.
I don't know how. And whitewater rafting. So out of all those things, who do you think we put on the cover, or what did we put on the cover?
Well,
Well, if you'd asked me what I would have put on the cover at
Yeah.
the time, I would have gone with Quentin Tarantino. That's what I would have gone with.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Hopper.
It seems like a really big deal not to have done that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
I like that. I like the fact we didn't do that.
No. Okay.
It's a bit like we deliberately didn't do it.
Yeah. Shall I show you what we did?
Go on in.
We put Frank Skinner on the cover.
Wee.
It was massive at the time.
He was
Yeah.
massive, yeah.
Had he
He
done?
looks young there, doesn't he?
He does.
Maybe we
doesn't
all
he?
did.
Just like a whippersnapper.
He does.
So had he done Room 101 by this point?
Yeah, that must have been maybe no, it might have been
Bit later.
probably,
I used to love that.
fantasy football. Is it?
And in no relation whatsoever does Send Me to Mars have anything to do with Room 101. Look, here we go. So why was Frank a good choice?
Why is it titled Skin Up? Is it drug hell?
I can't even read you the stand first because it's unpleasant. listen. Okay, well, I'll
Go
read
on,
it to you.
read
right?
it.
It's not our fault. Oh, it is your fault. You're the deputy editor.
Frank Skinner, what a lippy
Jesus, the Stanford.
Fucking Stanford. Jesus Christ, it makes me look
Wow.
nice.
Who does he think he is?
Did
A
he write
comedian? Who does he think he is? A comedian? Probably. Frank, how did you lose your virginity? Time to put some right poses to the lad from the West Midlands.
How did that go? That's a Stanford.
And that's
wow.
a bit of a shambles, isn't it? I hope someone's going to bleep out I don't use the C word unless it's really
good word.
appropriate. It's a good word, but
I
yeah.
don't think that was going to come.
No, admittedly, I was
Shocked.
quite shocked by
Edison
that.
Large.
Yeah. I was shocked by that, yeah.
Yeah. So, Frank, why was he good?
Well, he was
Or why is he?
he was a he'd come after a whole sort of. He'd come after basically that kind of that sort of new British comedy thing, which was Ben Elton, Rick Mayall, Ade Edmondson. By the way, all great, right? You know. But he was slightly different. He was more. He embodied more of a kind of that sort of that working man's tradition. He was more like that than he was. But he took on board a lot of the stuff that. That new breed of comedy had taken on board. So he was more political, right? But he was also much more kind of working man's club.
He had funny bones, didn't he? There's a little bit of a swing back against the right-on comedians.
The alternative stuff.
But not so far as to completely take the dial back to where it was. And yeah, you can see him in a suit, but he's very, very funny man.
Because he was from West Bromwich, Smethwick, which is where I was born and sort of grew up first few years.
So not everyone there is funny.
No, exactly, yeah. You can't have too many. So, yeah, I mean, him being from Birmingham might have had some sort of impact on his...
Actually, I'm probably going to offend loads of people now when I say this, right? But I do find Brummies to be probably the funniest people in Britain. I'm not going to say who I don't find funny. No, I'm not going to.
Well, are they in this room?
No, they're not, no. But there are whole cities that I don't find funny.
I went to Birmingham
Does
University.
beg the question, though, doesn't it?
I went to university in Birmingham, and the reason I went there is because I wanted to go to a big city. I was near Manchester, so I could get back for the football and all the rest of it. And I absolutely loved my time there. And the best thing about it was, Manx were always like, London this, London that, come on. And the Cockneys are all like, oh, well, we're the only place that Scousers are Scousers and Yorkshiremen are Yorkshiremen. Brummies just don't give a flying fuck.
No, I don't give a flying fuck.
You get on with your own little, we're just building the second biggest city, that's fine, we're cool.
Yeah.
And I love that about them.
And they're really friendly, aren't they? When you go into a pub or something, I always found that when I went back, because I'd been living in southern England for a long, long time. And then when I was old enough to go to pubs and stuff, you go. And even if you're on your own, you go to the bar, someone's going to go, all right, mate. And then it's very, very friendly. But,
I mean, Liverpool's very friendly too, but Liverpool... Well, that's the point, actually. But I mean, I remember actually having a big argument with Martin from the Boo Radleys, and because I don't know, it must have been Derek Hatton or someone had said it was racist to be anti-Liverpool, and I said, "You're not a race." I said, "A Londoner would never describe himself as a race." And Martin goes, "You're not a race." He goes, "But you are a breed, aren't you?"
I nearly had a fight with Derek Hatton once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
go on, tell us about that.
I was doing the match report for the Sunday Times, and it was Tranmere Rovers in the FA Cup. So that's
good firm, Tranmere.
Yeah, well, for some reason, because they weren't geared up at that point, so we're talking about the 90s.
Were they just playing themselves?
No, they were playing the FA, because they must have been a big fixture for the Sunday Times to have covered it. So I can't remember who they were playing, but it was at their ground, and because the press box was nowhere capable to take all the influx of pressmen from all over the country. And I had, as I said before in another pod, because I was young at the time, I just started. I had a word processor, it was called then, and there was no plug points. There were no plug points. And then all the other bulb points were there.
What we call a computer now, kids.
Fags going on with like shorthand and all the rest of it. No
My commuters.
ring binders, but there were no plug points, obviously. So I had to use the director's, not the director's box, but the bar to charge the computer up. And he'd obviously had a few drinks, and I was trying to do it. I think his lad might have been playing, I'm not sure, but he had something to do with Tranmere Rovers. And who are you working for? And of course, Sunday Times, Murdoch paper, not ideal. And he was giving me this.
So just to give anyone a bit of a background, Derek Hatton was extreme left.
Extreme left.
He was left.
I'll tell you what, if he'd been born in the south of England, he'd have been a Tory. To my money, he's an ambitious opportunist.
Yeah, he
did more harm to the Labour movement than Thatcher.
I totally agree with that. And that was when he was booted out.
A point I raised with him when they wanted to knock him out because he was getting to interfere with me. I was trying to type the piece up.
You raised the point that you wanted to knock him out?
No, I almost did knock him out.
Mr. Hatton, I wish to raise
I'm trying to file the copy for the Sunday Times, and it really is taking a long time. It's under immense pressure. And Hatton's going, "What are you doing there, mate?" You know, can you imagine under that much pressure? That, mate, you're going to have to leave me alone because I'm going to snap in a minute. Snap, are you? And then at the end, one of the directors or somebody else escorted him away.
We're losing all of our Liverpool.
I've got some great mates of Scouts.
I could just like to say I love Liverpool.
Some of your best friends. Did you just say some of your best friends from Liverpool?
I deliberately didn't say that. I deliberately didn't say that. Shout out to Dave Cottrell. No, I deliberately didn't say that.
Yeah, I tell you what, I wish I was sitting in my hot tub now, cold tub.
So do we.
Yeah. All it says down here is Manic Street Preachers, because Manics are in the issue.
This is a very peculiar thing, actually.
Yeah, so one, I think, or both of you have got a story about the Manics.
Well,
Bill's not so keen.
No, I am, but coming on the back of that, it makes you look like some kind of lunatic.
okay, so my story about the Manics is this, right? Is that I was working at Melody Maker at the time, and you know how difficult it is to do the singles, right? Singles are one of the most difficult jobs.
Reviewing the
singles.
That,
and you would get given, and just to give a little bit of background to you, the listener, you'd get given maybe 90 to 100 7-inch singles.
Really?
And you'd have to sort it down, to get it down to about 20 or 30.
You know,
right?
you listen to all of them.
Right? No, of course you don't listen to all. I'm not an idiot, am I?
Well, how did you choose them?
You just look at the cover, you give it a bit of a shake.
See,
and
you knew it.
How many careers fell by the wayside because you couldn't be asked to listen to the music?
And but we got this. Also, certain things you'd do and certain things you wouldn't do. Like, I mean, you had to review. There are certain people you have to review, right? If Elton John put out a single, you couldn't not review the Elton John single, right? Even if you knew you didn't like Elton John, you still had to review it, right? But there was this tape. We got sent this tape, and it turned out it was from the Manic Street Preachers. Right? It was a letter written by Richey, and Richey at the time was pretending that he was a heroin addict, right? And they were all heroin addicts. And they wrote to me because they quite rightly assumed, actually.
Come on, don't do yourself a disservice.
No, they quite rightly assumed that I did like the odd Persian rug. I listened to it and I thought, this is absolutely great.
Do you think they were just going down a list of the people and like pictures of them, like photo pics?
Yeah. So they said, and I reviewed it. I gave it and then later on they put it out. Motown Junk. They sent me a little tape of Motown Junk, which became their first single. And then Jeff Barrett signed them, didn't he? And
he ran Heavenly Records.
Heavenly Records, yeah. He ran Heavenly Records. Great friends with the Primals, all the rest of it. And they were brilliant speakers. So we did the first interview with them for the Melody Maker, and Richey was one of the most charming and funny men that I've ever met. And they were all brilliant, actually. They're all fantastic guys, right? And we ended up spending about sort of 4 or 5 hours in the pub with them, me and Tommy and Dominic and stuff. And we just got these photographers and other journalists, had a fantastic time with them. And then I think we've spoken about this before. He was terrible at fame, Richey. I mean, he was so good looking and he was such a lovely man, but he was terrible at fame, and I think it just got to him. It got to him really, really fast.
There was an interview he did with Steve Lamacq for the NME, wasn't there?
Yes.
Steve Lamacq didn't like them much, and he basically said they're not for real. So he basically carved out with, I don't know how he did it, whether it was razor blade.
He did it with razor blade. Yeah, he carved. I mean, so deep into his skin that you could the pictures for real. Okay, and interesting
in front of the journalist.
Yeah, in
Steve.
front of made
a good point. He made an excellent point there.
I met him about 3 weeks after that. I met him at a party in Soho, and he still had the scarring, right? And I go, Richey, you're a fucking maniac. What the fuck are you thinking of, man? I said, it's a horror. It's traumatising, isn't it, to see that kind of thing in front of you, all that shit, yeah, right? And he was like, he goes, I was just having a bit of a giggle. Blimey, yeah.
Did you the Kurt Cobain thing that you sensed in him? Was it a similar vibe?
Yeah, definitely. I got the feeling that people don't know how to. They don't know what they're going to be like when they're famous. And he was the best looking of them. And girls just became obsessed with him, right? And I think that he thought that would be fun. And I think he discovered it just wasn't fun at all. Yeah. It was kind of like, it was this sort of awful pressure. And whereas the rest of them...
For anyone who doesn't know, by the way, they found his car parked near the Severn Bridge.
Yeah,
and
near the Bristol, and he just disappeared.
He's never been seen since.
What year would that have been, do you think?
That was the same year that Cobain died, so would 95, 96?
94.
94. So it would have been... So a lot happens then in that sense. So one of the interesting things about the Manics piece in Loaded is that we clearly didn't think they were actually important enough to put them right up front, because they're actually in the back of the magazine.
They are, yeah.
Which is fairly extraordinary, given that they were this snowball effect, right? They just became bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
After Richey left, really.
Well, they put out the Holy Bible, and that had sold really well, right? But after Richey sort of disappeared, And the really weird thing about the disappearance, I mean, to me, it was clearly a suicide, right? That's clearly what happened, right? But the weird thing was that there were always these sightings, you know, like, oh, he's been seen in Goa, right? Yeah. Oh, he's been seen in Italy, in Florence, like wandering around. Oh, he's a carpenter in Seattle, right? All this stuff would come out, and it just increased their kind of mythology. And it also it lent them this sort of tragic edge. By the way, one of the things they did say to me on the first interview, right, was they said, what we want to do is we want to be this rock and roll band that want to be so classic, so brilliant, right, that we'll put out one record that will be the greatest record ever made, right, and then we will immediately break up and people will remember us as the greatest ever thing. Well, kids, I hate to break it to you, spoiler alert, they're still fucking around now.
Yeah. Fucking around or here.
Yeah.
They're here. Yeah. They're releasing records.
So when I interviewed them, well, should have interviewed them, it was in the phase when Richey had left and there was a three-piece. And the record company took this idea that me and the photographer Chris Floyd, who we'll talk about again, you know, great photographer, done really well for himself. We were going to watch the Wales-Holland game in Holland with them because they're massive football fans. Yeah. And then we were going to do an interview, sound check at a nightclub they were playing at, which James Dean Bradfield's a singer now, isn't he? Yeah. So he didn't come to the football, which is probably just as well because he got beat 7-1. So it was a downer. They were on a downer to begin with, quite a big downer. We went to the nightclub, and I was there just chatting away, waiting for James Dean Bradfield to turn up. And in the foyer of this nightclub, this venue, they had like a bank of about 20 TVs all showing the same thing. And we're just getting ready, and Chris turned up to do the photo shoot beforehand. And as luck would have it, James Dean Bradfield just walked through the door. And in the lobby, they were showing Time Bandits. And if you know the film, it's a film about a gang of dwarfs that travel the world through a time portal. And it's, you know, if you've seen it, it's a brilliant, brilliant film. I recommend everybody watch it. It's hilarious.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, so...
I can see where this is going.
Just as James Dean... we should mention that
James Dean Bradfield...
about 7'3", isn't he?
Yeah, so Dickie Wyer's about sort of like 7.5 foot, and James Dean Bradfield's about as tall as Gangster Hamster over there.
And he's taller than the other fella.
The drummer, Sean, yeah.
So
Little Sean.
Come in, and then just as he walks in, Chris follows him and he goes, Bill, they're playing the Time Bandits out there. At which point, James Dean Bradfield has obviously seen the football result. The other two goes, you're calling us dwarves, are you? Turned on his heels and all left. No interview.
James Dean Bradfield a gnome or a dwarf. So rude.
I didn't say he was.
Yeah. I've met James Dean Bradfield.
And you're a tall guy. You're very tall.
No, I like it.
What was he like?
Very nice. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, he's a nice chap. You know,
did you look down on him?
Chris Floyd, by the way. Chris Floyd's responsible for all that.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah, he normally then he wasn't there, Floyd, was he?
No,
suddenly there'd be this detritus that has happened, and suddenly he's hopping off down the road. You know, with a champagne glass in his hand.
Yeah, that's very much, very much him.
Okay, so that's the Manic Street Preachers. What about Shane MacGowan is also interviewed in this magazine. Yeah. And this is not from when you. This is not from this interview, but you've had a couple of experiences with Shane.
Well, both Bill and I have. Yeah. I mean, the thing that I was going up. I went up to Filthy McNasty's. I think 3 times on the trot to meet Shane MacGowan.
Filthy McNasty's is what?
Filthy McNasty's is a boozer in North London. It's an Irish pub in North London. And I went up there, and it was a no-show the first time. It was a no-show the second time. The third time, the manager rings me, and he says, "Oh, it's really a disaster. What's happened is that Shane was sitting there drinking his martini, of which more later." And the whole roof fell in, just collapsed on top of him, yeah? And he goes, I got there, he goes, white as a snowman, so he was. He goes, picking wee bits of plaster out of his martini. Right? And I thought, well, that just doesn't sound realistic, yeah? Right? So, 4th time, I go up and meet him, yeah? And this is where the martini comes in, right? I go, what do you want to drink, Shane? And he goes, just go up to the bar and just say, want one of Shane's drinks. So I go up and go, pint of lager, please, mate, and can I get one of Shane's drinks? And they go up to the Optics with a pint glass, yeah? And they fill a pint of martini. Right? A pint of martini.
Fill a bit.
He drops a single ice cube in it. A single ice cube in it. and a slice of lemon, and I take it over, right?
Not neat then.
No, it's not mental. So anyway, he has 6 pints of martini. 6 pints of martini, right? Yeah, right. And he's absolutely out of it, right? And this fella comes in and he goes, I'm not feeling very well. It's hardly a surprise, right? And he goes, have you got anything, right? So this fella pulls out this massive bag of pills, like which is speed, like Dexies, yeah, Dexies, right? So he pulls out Dexies, right? So Shane like tips about 8 or 9 of them into his hand, right, and puts them in his mouth. But by that time he's so dehydrated he can't swallow, yeah, right? So he's going, he starts choking and all the rest of it. It's terrible. So it gets worse. Right? So the guy goes, don't, Shane, don't worry. But this time it's quite fucking crowded, the pub, yeah? He goes, don't worry. He goes, so he gets in, he pulls out, bizarrely, yeah, some Fortnum and Mason's pickled fucking peaches in syrup.
I knew you were going to say that.
Syrup, right? Fortnum and Mason's peaches, right? Takes a fucking fork from the bar, yeah, pokes it into the thing, yeah, and starts pushing it downstairs, and like the fucking peach keeps popping out, and it's studded with pills, yeah, like pills all over it, right? And the bloke's going boom.
Did it work?
Yes, it did work actually. It was surprisingly effective. 8 Dexies and a peach pickled in whiskey or whatever it was.
Yeah,
don't do it. Don't try this at home, please.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's
move on.
Mercy. I've got Charles Manson down here next. So I think let's do that next issue. I can't think we can follow that. I don't think it's right. I think we need to
Can't
go.
we do Charles Manson now?
No, we took one minute to say no.
I think we need to.
By the way, we didn't interview Charles Manson. He was dead by then.
By the way,
No, he
if
wasn't. He was in prison,
Manson was alive and he'd been listening to this, he'd be going, that bloke's a fucking nutter. No.
Honestly, I'm crying a bit. We introduced you last week to our friend Gangster Hamster, who misbehaved himself quite badly on his debut. He wouldn't work for us. He wouldn't cooperate.
Oh, he wouldn't cooperate. No.
But
you tried to turn him on by tickling his little balls, didn't you?
Yeah, you did.
Tickled his little furry balls. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's please. We're better than this. Well. So anyway, I want to know what the origin story of Gangster Hamster is, Ben, because you're the one that found it, or your wife Janine.
My wife
found
Janine found him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're in this shop.
Yeah.
And we're walking along, and Janine's talking, and Gangster Hamster pipes up. Yeah. Right. Obviously, he was selling Dickie.
Pipes up.
He was selling Dickie in Benidorm.
Which, for the people who might not speak Cockney.
The Class A drug.
Cockney. Yeah. And Janine said this poor little chap needs rehabilitation.
Oh, because he was a drug dealer?
Well, because he was a drug dealer in Benidorm.
How could you tell, though? Was he trying to sell you drugs?
Yeah, he goes, come on, want some fucking Dickie?
Oh, I see, yeah. Maybe he was making it obvious.
Yeah.
So he's a drug dealer in Benidorm.
Yeah. So we took him to Alicante.
Butter wouldn't melt, would it? Look at him.
No, he looks cute, yeah.
Brilliant cover story.
So we took him to Alicante, but that wasn't far enough from Benidorm because he kept escaping, going back to Benidorm.
I bet he did, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Did he
let's get him away from the drug scene. Let's take him to Brighton.
But did he want to go to Alicante? Did he want to leave?
No, he didn't want to leave. He was perfectly happy there.
Right. So why did you?
Because we wanted to rehabilitate him. It's an intervention.
What? Because you know better.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I think everyone knows better than Gangster Hamster.
Who?
I mean, if you don't know better than Gangster Hamster, South,
yeah,
we're in trouble.
I'm keeping an open mind. I just see,
Anyway, look, it's interesting. It's interesting because his
yet.
story is very similar to what happened to the Primals. Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah, no, it is. No, bear with me. Yeah, please, bear with me. Primal Scream, Primal Scream, right? They're in Glasgow, right? And Alan McGee, the head of the record company, is looking at them going like, I've got to get them away from heroin, right? Yeah. I know what I'll do. I'll move them to Brighton. Catastrophe.
There's no drugs in Brighton,
There's no drugs in Brighton.
In fact, we're in Brighton right now. If we walked out of here, we could probably get as many drugs as we wanted within about, what?
We're actually in the right area for that as well.
Are we?
We're literally in the right area. Yeah.
No,
You can buy the...
Anyway.
I'm not going to go into that, right?
No, look, you're encouraging him.
No,
don't listen.
Cover his little ears.
Yeah, okay.
Well, he's a gangster. I mean, make your mind up.
Yeah, but he's trying to... He's on the mend.
He's on the mend, yeah.
Anyway, he's in Brighton.
So McGee moves
Hamster.
the Primals. No, McGee was not his manager.
Okay.
Right? He moves the
I bet
primals
he
to
might.
Brighton.
If he's watching this, McGee, he might be thinking.
He has shown interest.
Yeah,
But do you know
he
what?
has.
By the way, do you know what happened? Right, like this is how weird it was. Right, the primals. He was so sick and tired of the primals taking too many drugs. Right, that McGee sent them to Memphis. Yeah, right. He sends them to Memphis. Right, and I won't say who was with them, but somebody was with them. Right, a journalist. Yeah.
Do we know him?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And because Bobby likes to travel light, and so does the other journalist. Yeah, right. The journalist and Bobby are straight through immigration before anyone else. Yeah. So Bobby walks up to this fella, right, and because Memphis Airport is absolutely fucking huge, right, and he goes, "Excuse me, mate, do you know where the cab rank is?" He goes, "Absolutely, yeah." He goes, you go, walk down here, you do a right, then you do a left. He goes, "And by the way, do you want to buy any crack?" The first person, and Bobby goes, "Yeah, absolutely, brilliant.
Oh, God,
Bring it on."
Yeah,
That's exactly what happened to him.
Do not introduce Bobby Gillespie to Gangster Hamster.
No, it's deadly. But I mean, I mean, Bobby would probably have him in. He'd be like Bez in the Happy Mondays.
He would. We can do that later.
Okay, so basically, we're going to hand over to Gangster Hamster now. He's going to run. He's going to announce our competition for the week.
Oi, you lot, we've got a competition. If you comment, subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification icon, you might stand to win a prize. What I'm going to do is randomly pick one of your lovely comments, stick them in a hat, pull one out, top and bottom, yeah? You might win an EXPLoaded t-shirt. Lucky little furry things.
Thank you, Gangster Hamster. That was very kind of you. And we'll speak to you again next week. Also in this issue, and an area of the magazine which we're all really passionate about is the fashion that Loaded did, and specifically the work of Beth Summers, who was the fashion editor. And in this issue...
well, she's more than a fashion editor, wasn't she? She was the Don of the
Yeah.
office. I mean, she was best mates with all of us, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, she was like our older sister.
Yeah.
And she basically
Terrifying
ran the place.
older sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrifying, scary older sister.
Ran
yeah.
the place. But she was a great laugh as well, and she, still is. But we'd all go out together, and everybody. What we were saying about Loaded, which was brilliant about it, we moved on mass as a team. It didn't matter whether you were in the art department or whatever place you
Fashion,
came
whatever.
from.
No, we all moved
Everybody
around
goes.
together.
Everyone just went out together in different groups, but always crossing over and stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody was everyone's mate. And then Beth was like really great for going out with and having fun. And she'd been at ID magazine before that, so she brought a lot of that.
So
kind
she was
of,
fashion editor at
gravitas.
ID, and for those who aren't familiar with ID, ID was probably, second probably to Vogue, I would say, or if not equal to Vogue. It did slightly
different
more.
way.
It did more outre sort
More
of
indie
fashion
sort of
than Vogue did. But it was probably the most, other than Vogue, it was the most important magazine about fashion. She had been fashion editor there, and she did the most extraordinarily brave thing, which is she jacked in her job to work with us bunch of Burks.
Yeah.
But the job of fashion editor at ID was probably, as you're right, second only to Vogue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was that prestigious. Because that was at the breaking, the cutting edge, the breaking wave was ID, and then the stuff that got into Vogue had been passed to a different gatekeeper.
Yeah.
But that was where it all happened. And that's what she brought to us. And bear in mind, as you can tell by the way we're dressed today, she doesn't last
She
had no influence whatsoever upon us.
I think huge credit has to go to James Brown, the editor and co-founder of Loaded, because he was the one that talked to Beth and
taught us to come in.
Well, gave a really good assessment of what we're doing, blah, 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 and it was an attractive thing. Then she asked all her mates, like Pam Hogg and whoever, and said, am I mental to do this?
Yes.
And I don't know what this, but she had this kind of nagging thing that she thought it might be amazing somehow. Or it just looked like a laugh.
I think what she loved about it, because what she loved was she loved really huge challenges. See, at ID, if you were a fashion editor at ID, you could ring up any photographer in the world, and they would work for you like that, bang.
Yeah.
Anyone would advertise with you. Armani, Versace, anyone would advertise with you. With Loaded, right, you were talking about a completely different market, right? And the challenge was to get that quality of stuff, but make it specific to Loaded. She couldn't bring an ID style into Loaded. That would have looked ridiculous. It wouldn't have worked, right? So she had to bring her panache, her force of personality, but also just her ideas. I mean, there are certain things that now are commonplace, right? But she initiated. I'll give you a couple of examples. I mean, one of the things that I remember her leaving the office and going across the river to Berwick Street Market in Soho, and looking at all these guys that were selling fruit and veg and all this other stuff, yeah, right? And picking these old guys to be models in a fashion shoot. These kind of craggy-faced old guys, and I think it was
Storied faces.
Storied faces, and she had the. I mean, nowadays people do that quite a lot in fashion. It's still rare, but it's. But she was the first person to do that kind of thing. Just bring in regular people to model clothes, right?
Also, on the mainstream, on the mag that was doing so well loaded, it was selling so many copies. It had an amazing shop. I mean, it sounds a bit cynical, like, oh, well, she bought the advertising. I know you didn't mean it, and you didn't mean it like that, to say that you bought the advertising from, you know, all the big hitters. But it wasn't just that. It was that it instantly tuned in to what people were actually wearing and how they could improve themselves. And I think that shoot there, I mean, if we show some of the shots of it,
Yeah.
Terry Hall from Special, for Christ's sake, who looks amazing.
It could have just been about trainers, couldn't it?
Oh,
This
yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, so Terry Hall was
spin it
if
over,
you don't know, it's just was the lead singer of the Specials, one of the most innovative musicians and songwriters in the country. Also, actually, from
Ladies'
the Midlands.
choice.
And an incredibly good-looking man. I mean, he sadly died, I think, a year or so ago, didn't he? But an incredibly good-looking man, and Beth knew so many people. She just knew all these people, and she could do shoots like this that looked very loaded. Terry Hall was very much the kind of person we would have featured in Loaded anyway.
Yeah. Same background.
Same sort of background, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but look what it is. It's clothes to wear when you're in court, which is also laughing at the kind of snobs who'd say, oh, the people who Reloaded are white van man and people who... Okay, not a problem with that. The white van man's got every right to have it, but we were also selling to the traders and the stock market, toffs who can't get it up, and whatever you want, everyone's buying it. And these pictures say, we're going to take your criticism, we're going to take what you say about us looking down your nose, and we're going to times it by 10, double down on it, and here you go. Terry Hall, looking amazing, in clothes you would wear to court, but you can also wear in the street. Yeah. Fantastic.
No, by the way, can I tell you just one tiny little thing about another sort of very... I think you might have even been on that shoot, actually. The shoot that we did that was done in Brighton, where... Beth wanted a shoot with lots of suits in, again, not dissimilar to that one. Wanted to shoot like that. But what she wanted to do is she wanted to make it very loaded. So she decided to make it look like some sort of nefarious deal going on in a yacht. Yeah, supposed to be south of France, right? Now, for those of you who don't know, right, when you photograph stuff, it really does need to look real. So we needed these briefcases full of money. And it needed to look like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds, that were going to be opened in yachts. And these guys in suits were going to be exchanging it and everything else, right? So the whole shoot was done. Steve Reed, I think, was involved quite intimately with all this, right? The whole shoot was done in Brighton. It went really well. Fantastic shoot. But we had to rent, which you have to do, you had to rent fake £50 notes and £20 notes. You rent them. They're fakes, but they look incredibly real because they have to look real on photography. Everyone gets back to the office, and it's a Friday afternoon, and Michael Holden, one of Loaded's best writers, probably one of the most intelligent people I've ever met, had a little bit of a moment, took the briefcases full of fake money and emptied them out onto Stamford Street in Waterloo at rush hour, right? And all traffic started skidding to a halt, right? People leaping out of their cars, grabbing money from the air, right? Going absolutely bananas. And James and everyone else goes, oh, shit! Because we could hear the sirens wailing, right? So we all went and hid in the fire escape, All of us just sitting like, shh, shh, right? And the cops, like, clearly looking around Loaded office, going like... And one copper just walks in and just goes like... Did you fucking idiots just empty out loads of money onto Stamford Street? And everyone goes, no. He goes, you fucking did, didn't you? He goes, and someone goes, I think it was Marie Claire downstairs.
Oh, sensational. Oh, that's beautiful. And another beautiful thing is Basil Brush.
Oh, yeah.
And
here we go.
I wrote a piece for this issue of the magazine for the Great Moments in Life section, and it's basically watching Basil Brush.
Have you reread it then for this?
I had a little read of it.
I want to ask you a quiz question.
Yeah. No. No, I didn't. I read the major. They did.
What was his first band? What was his first?
I know.
Go on.
They're Three Scampies.
Got it.
Yeah.
You have reread this. It is a great. I hate to say it again. It's too positive. I know you wrote it, but it is a good piece.
Yeah.
I know you said great and scaled it down to good.
Three Scampies.
Three Scampies.
And basically, he split up the Three Scampies.
He did.
Because
wanted to go solo.
Mr. Roy, or whatever, yeah, they said basically ditch the others. It's a bit like Diana Ross and the Supremes.
No, it's very similar. In fact, Diana Ross is in this piece.
What?
He interviews Diana Ross.
Oh, God almighty.
Of course he does.
Bizarre, isn't it?
And he met ABBA off a helicopter.
Also, can I just say, you know the Quentin and Jew and a Healy, well, that, I'm pretty sure that's from Basil Brush that I just didn't realise.
What, you stole your intro from Basil?
Basil Brush, yeah. Yeah. I'm quite proud of that. Proud.
Yeah, nothing's sacred.
No.
So, you wrote but the Star Trek one with Leonard. Do you remember what he said to Leonard Nimoy?
No, basically what he did with Leonard Nimoy was he was interviewing Spock from Star Trek with the big ears. Right.
No, I know who Spock is. I'm not.
Okay.
I thought you talking about Ben then.
Yeah. Listen, Marshall, you jug-eared bastard.
Basil's interviewing Leonard Nimoy, and he gets him to have a distraction and look over there or something like that, or he has to go and get something. And when he comes back, Basil's got on Leonard Nimoy Spock ears. Yeah, as a prank.
He's got a limerick here. His limerick he ended with. Let me just took his bins on. Hang on a sec. There was an old monk in Siberia who developed a bit of hysteria. He escaped from his call with a roar and a yell. Oh, he escaped from his cell with a roar and a yell and ran off with the Mother Superior.
That's very good.
That's very good, actually. That is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful. Yeah, so that was, yeah. I love doing those articles. So things that you could celebrate.
Oh, brilliant.
From your childhood or, you know, but we still, there is Basil in the background.
Yeah, we put him on the cover, didn't we?
Yeah, you put him on the cover when we did the 100 covers, which we'll do a big episode on at some point. Yeah, of course we did. And Sweep.
Of course.
Yeah, Sooty and Sweep, yeah.
Not Sooty,
you just put Sweep?
Yeah, yeah. And
what was the headline, distinction there then?
The headline was Wappen. Sweep, I don't know why. Well, Sooty was a bit of a prat, wasn't he? Sweep was a little anarchist.
You're calling Sooty a wanker?
Prat, I said. He was a prat, and he was always stitching.
Yeah, he was actually.
There's a brilliant episode of.
Countercultural. He was more
Sooty was a snitch. Sooty was a grass.
See, okay, now this is what happened, right? So basically, when the three Scampies split up, right?
Yeah.
One Scampy ended up on the Sooty and Sweep show. And in one episode, right, this Scampy, he was a bit. He likes to wind up Sweep, and so Sweep's got his rubber ducky called
conversation you never put you down.
Stephen or something like that, and he keeps going. So, but he can't find him, right? So he's got all these rubber ducks lined up, Sweep, and he's going, "Hello, ducky," like this, right? And then it's not replying to him because his mate Stephen, I can't remember what his name was. But anyway, his mate Stephen would reply, and then he'd go, "Oh, it's my mate Stephen," and then they'd go off and whatever, have a bath or something. But every time, so then it wasn't responding, so Sweep just flicks them off like they go flying.
He did have that in him.
It did go like that, and then he heard one go. Eventually, one started going whack 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 whack. And he goes, and he thinks it's his mate Stephen. He thinks it's his mate Stephen, right? Sweep gets so excited, he's like, well, I can't make his noise, but he goes basically, and what it is, it's Scampy doing an impersonation of Stephen. And when Sweep realises,
I'm not surprised.
He kicks the shit out of Scampy, literally. Even Sue is like sitting there going, "Oh my God, look at that!" Because it all happens down here. You could hear him.
It's normally also in the cover to him. If I'm with you,
what Sweep?
Fuck Sutton.
All over it. Yeah, that's it. That was it.
Wow, we're both shocked.
We are actually. It sounded really, really nice until it descended into
the narrative art.
You can watch that on YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
Sweet. Takes. We'll try and put it in.
Yeah, put it in. Do that.
We'll stick it in, and basically, he does. He actually takes him apart. It's quite brutal.
No,
it's like ultra
we're
violence.
Adults now.
Yeah.
Right.
Uber violence.
Yeah.
Guess what we're going to talk about now? Planet of the Vapes.
I did one last week.
Where we tried to decipher the workings and the machinations
I had one, but then Bill pointed out
of Gen Z. I got one.
Go on.
I got a couple, actually. Right, so this is one. Doorbell phobia.
What?
Gen Zs, if they come around to your house
Yeah.
to pick, to meet one of their mates, who's your son or something,
Yeah.
they'll never knock on the door. They'll just message to say that they're here.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, but I do
Maybe
it as
your
well.
doorbell's faulty.
No, we got
Maybe you should
a knocker.
consult an electrician and get the doorbell sorted.
None haven't been doing it for years.
That's what you do the same.
No, I think you're right.
What, you do that, do you?
No, you do it, probably. I know. I think that's true.
What, you text people?
If I'm driving, right, and I'm going to pick up my daughter or something from somewhere,
No.
I won't necessarily knock on the door. I'll just text, right? But if I'm going to go in, of course I just go up to the door and knock on the door.
Hey.
But apparently the Gen Zs don't like it. They got a phobia with the doorbell or
Might be the videos that they now have in them.
possibly they're a bit more self-conscious of their security. But yeah, that's the thing. Apparently,
Oh, that's a good one. That. How did you knock a door run then?
you what?
How did they do knock a door run? Or ginger do you call
Who's knock a door in?
Knock a door run. Do you have that
Is that
down
a
here?
Russian?
Yeah, how do you play?
You knock on a door and
No, knock down ginger.
Oh, knock down ginger.
No, you
knock a door
text them
run.
going, I'm outside, come and get me, bastard.
You never guess who this is.
Yeah, you're never going to
Very
catch
good
me.
point.
That's the future. That is.
That's a very good point. That really is. I got another one for you. So I'll be sitting at home watching TV with one of my sons. I'm on a sofa, they're on a sofa, and I'll ask him a question as we're kind of casually just whatever. I'll just ask him a question, and they'll be on their phone. So I've asked the question, and there's just nothing. So I just think they're just ignoring me, right? But they're not. They're just basically doing this.
What, they're texting you the answer?
That could happen.
they're doing something else, right? So you just think, I'm just being rude. And then so you forget all about it. And about 30 seconds later, he goes, hey? And you go, blah, blah, blah. They'll ask this question again. Nothing. And then he'll go, you've slightly alerted him at this point. So then he'll go, no, not really. Like that. And it's like that kind of thing, taking ages to answer a question.
You lose all momentum in a conversation.
This goes
don't
back-
you?
We've talked about this before, though.
So I'll
The
get
jokes tend to fall flat.
I'll get back to you by email in the morning.
Tell them a joke, and like 30 seconds later they go, ha!